When it comes to the military families, you can't do much better than the CV-90. This Swedish group of vehicles represents some of the most effective tracked armored offerings that the world has ever seen. As far as infantry fighting vehicles go, this group is some of the most mobile and agile, so it's no wonder that they've become a fixture in the Swedish fleet for coming up on 3 decades. Let's take a look at what makes them so special. But before we get started, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more just like it, remember to give us a like and subscribe to Military World to get more sent straight to your notifications. During the Cold War, in the early 80s, the Swedish Army needed vehicles with high mobility, air defense, anti-tank capability, high survivability, and protection. In 1985, the Stridsforden 90 was a project group that was made up of representatives from the Swedish Armed Forces, the Swedish Defense Administration, or FMV, and Swedish contractors that included Hägglunds and Bofors. The CV-90 infantry fighting vehicle was then developed as a family of tracked armored vehicles, developed by the Swedish companies BAE Systems, Land Systems Hägglunds, and Saab Bofors Dynamics. The tracked chassis of the CV-90 was designed and built by Land Systems Hägglunds, while the turret comes courtesy of Saab Bofors. As a whole, the complete CV-90 unit was produced by BAE Systems. Development of the vehicles started in 1984, and following trials with an unarmed automotive test chassis, 5 prototype vehicles and turrets were built for extensive tests with a wide range of operational and environmental conditions. Following these trials, the Swedish Army placed its first contract for the CV-90-40 in early 1991. 2 years later, the first production vehicle was delivered to the Swedish Army. Since then, the CV-90 platform design has continuously evolved from the original to the current Mark IV, in line with advances in technology and the quickly changing battlefield. Let's take a look at the latest iteration that's currently in service, the CV-90 Mark IV. This version came from a research and development program conducted by BAE Systems to use feedback from the 7 countries that had used the CV-90. This iteration has many new improvements on its predecessor in terms of mobility, protection, and firepower. This latest vehicle was launched by BAE Systems during the International Armored Vehicles Conference and Exhibition in September of 2017. The design of the Mark IV is very similar to the original model, with the driver seated in the front left, the power pack to his right, the turret in the center, and the troops located at the rear of the hull, ready for deployment. The construction is of all-welded steel armor. This basic armor can stop attacks against 14.5mm armor-piercing rounds. The armor protection over the frontal arc is classified, but all models from the CV-90 and later are said to be protected against 30mm armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot ammo. This gives troops the peace of mind that they're within a super-protected shell. This CV-90 is powered by a crew of 3. This includes the driver, commander, and gunner. The rear part of the hull, which is home to troops being delivered, can accommodate up to 8 troops to be transported. These are seated with 4 on each side facing each other with an anti-blast seat for each soldier. These troops enter and leave with a large hydraulic ramp at the back of the hull. For further protection, the Mark IV can be equipped with an active protection system. The state-of-the-art sensor suite that this APS includes contains a long-range, real-time 360-degree panoramic view of the vehicle's vicinity, which gives the vehicle the capability to react and counterattack quickly. Threats are spotted thanks to the use of an active electronically scanned array radar sensor developed by Rada Electronic Industries and a passive infrared detector developed by Elbit's Elisra Group. When a target is near, an explosive projectile interceptor is launched towards it. The interceptor explodes very close to this threat, destroying or deflecting and destabilizing it without detonating its warhead. This interceptor is a mortar shell-like projectile with a combustible blast warhead that sends a shockwave on detonation, enough to neutralize the incoming aggressor. In this version of the CV-90, the latest protection systems of the vehicle also include a jammer system to stop infrared missiles and laser detector devices. For the power plant to move the 37-ton vehicle, the CV-90 has an impressive engine. It's an improvement on previous designs, with the Mark IV capable of up to 1,000 horsepower from its engine, with the latest upgraded X300 heavy-duty transmission. The torsion bar suspension of the vehicle has 7 dual rubber-tired road wheels on each side, a drive sprocket at the front, and an idler at the rear with no track return rollers. A track tension adjusting system is a standard feature on the CV90, which lets the driver adjust both tracks at once without the need to move. If needed, the IFV can be equipped with SUSI-type rubber band tracks. The advantage of these is that they are lighter and quieter, while also providing greater range, reducing vibrations and increasing protection against fire and mine blasts. For weaponry, the CV90 Mark IV can be fitted with a 2-man turret or an unmanned weapon station. The power-operated turret is made of an all-welded steel construction and designed for 2 men with the commander seated on the left and the gunner on the right. Turret traverse and weapon elevation are all electronic with manual controls present in the event of an emergency. The D-Series modular turret with the vehicle is highly versatile and can be switched out with different types of armament, from 30 or 40mm and 35 or 50mm automatic cannons, up to a 120mm smoothbore tank cannon. For the IFV's secondary weapon, it can include Spike LR or other anti-tank guided missile launchers, as well as a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. The gun is mounted to an independent pod located on the turret's left side. This pod can also be armed with a 40mm automatic grenade launcher, 7.62mm machine gun, or laser weapon, depending on the needs of the mission. This further improved the versatility of the vehicle. The right side of the turret features 2 anti-tank missile launchers stored under armor and raised from the inside of the turret to fire. This storage box can be replaced to host UAVs or other reconnaissance devices. There are also 8 smoke grenade dischargers mounted under armor on each side of the front of the turret. The vehicle also includes a nuclear, biological, and chemical filtration system with a chemical detector and radiation detector systems. For stealthy attacks, it can also use heat-absorbing filters to provide temporary protection against thermal imaging, image intensifiers, and infrared cameras. If needed, the commander can use an independent sighting system mounted on the roof of the turret. This is a day camera, a thermal camera, and a laser rangefinder, which lets the user find targets and confirm threats to the gunner, who can take them out with a cannon or anti-tank missiles. Because of all these features, the CV90 is massively popular around the world. It's currently in service with countries including Sweden, Denmark, Finland, the Netherlands, Norway, and Switzerland. By 2020, there were 16 different versions of the CV90, all modified to deliver various roles according to mission type. Over 1,000 vehicles have been built to date, and in 2023, it was announced that Sweden would contribute 50 of the vehicles to Ukraine. Although the basic version of the vehicle has been improved since its initial launch, the Swedish Army still feels the need for another iteration. This is the Mark V model. The work needed on this is estimated to take the next 4 years to complete. Although no agreement has been reached between the FMV and industry, there have been some development goals released. The first is for a hybrid electric propulsion system to be proposed and possibly integrated. Others include improvement of its heat, radar, and visual signature management, integration of beyond line-of-sight anti-tank guided missiles, and inclusion of unmanned aerial vehicles. These improvement variants are thought to extend the lifetime of the CV90 in the Swedish Army beyond 2034. What are your thoughts on the CV90? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to Military World to get our latest videos straight to your notifications.